Cozy Tales. Today I'm going to share with you Dumpy Saves Christmas. This book is by Julie Andrews Edwards and Emma Walton Hamilton. If you like books about adventure and helping Santa save Christmas, then you will love this book. Dumpy Saves Christmas. Whoosh! A gust of wind made the weather vane on the red barn roof spin merrily. The old rooster flapped his wings dizzily in an effort to keep his balance. Everyone at Merryhill Farm was spinning that day, for it was Christmas Eve and there was much to do. "Looks like we're in for some more snow," Pop-Up said to his grandson Charlie as they hurried toward the barn. "We'll give Dumpy a can of antifreeze so his radiator won't ice up." It's thoughtful of them to think of the little dump truck. It's a cute one, too. They opened the barn doors and Charlie gazed lovingly at the colorful little dump truck parked inside. "Dumpy needs a blanket to keep his engine warm," he said. Pop-Up grinned. "Your mom thinks we need one when we're driving him. We fixed him up good as new, but he's still a little drafty." "I'll ask Santa Claus to bring him one when I make my list tonight," said Charlie. As they walked back to the farmhouse, Trusty the mail truck was pulling away from the front porch. "Waddle, waddle, 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 what?" Trusty wheezed. "Through hail and sleet and dead of night, your mail will reach you, come what might." "Not a moment too soon," Pop-Up winked at Mrs. Barnes as they whisked the packages indoors. "Merry Christmas," Charlie waved as Trusty puffed and gasped its way down the drive. The farmhouse was full of the sounds and smells of Christmas. Logs crackling in the fireplace, carols jingling on the radio, spicy aromas of cinnamon, gingerbread, and clementines filling the air. Beautiful smells of Christmas. Best of all, the tree itself, pine-scented and twinkling from head to toe. After a delicious supper, the family settled in front of the fire to hang stockings while Charlie wrote to Santa Claus. "Dear Santa," he printed carefully, "we hope you like the milk and cookies. Could we please have a canary for Mommy, a concertina for Daddy, a warm hat for Pop-Up? Dumpy needs a blanket. Do your elves make world globes? We are learning geography at school. Thank you. Have a good trip. Love, Charlie Barnes." His father attached the note to the mantel with a strong thumbtack, and Charlie hugged everyone goodnight. "Merry Christmas, pal," Pop-Up said lovingly. "Sweet dreams, Noodle," said Farmer Barnes. Mrs. Barnes tucked Charlie into his comfy bed and kissed his brow. "Go straight to sleep, Peanut. Santa can't come while you're awake." Charlie squeezed his eyes shut, but his head was buzzing with questions. How did Santa reach all the children in one night? How did the sleigh hold so many presents? Charlie opened one eye, but it was still dark. He decided to count trucks. There was Dumpy, of course, and Trundle the tractor, and Beatty the backhoe on the farm, Big Red the fire engine at the station, and Tommy the tow truck at the garage. Charlie was just beginning to fall asleep when there was a large thump outside his window. He sat up. "Screech! Clatter, clatter, clatter! Stomp! Jingle!" "Drat!" said a voice. Charlie scrambled to the window and gasped with amazement. Who do you think it is? I wonder, eek. It's Santa! On the porch roof, listing to one side and in danger of falling off altogether, was a great big sleigh. 9 reindeer were skittering to keep their balance on the icy shingles. A red-clad figure was bending over, examining a badly damaged runner. "Phooey, fiddlesticks, bother." Charlie cracked the window open and asked timidly, "What happened?" Startled, the red-clad figure popped up and spun around. "Whoa!" he said nearly, as he fell backward. "Shouldn't you be asleep, young man?" Charlie was speechless. He was face to face with Santa Claus. What would you say if you were face to face with Santa Claus? "It's Rudolph's allergies. The jolly old man sighed. His nose just isn't beaming tonight. We've had bumps and dings all across America, and now we've missed your chimney and my sleigh is busted. He scratched his beard. What am I going to do? I still have so many presents to deliver. Charlie thought about how sad all the children would be if Santa never came. Could you use our dump truck? He asked. Dumpy can carry anything. It's a little unorthodox, said Santa doubtfully. But the reindeer could pull him, Charlie offered, just like your sleigh. And the elves can fix the sleigh while you're gone. Santa slapped his knee. Ho, ho, it's brilliant, but we must hurry. Oh, so exciting. Then take a look at that. Charlie tiptoed downstairs and raced to the barn. Wake up, Dumpy, he whispered. Santa needs you. Dumpy blinked sleepily. This is one fine truck you have here, Charles, said Santa. Lucky that Rudolph chose your house to bump into. He attached the reindeer to Dumpy and climbed up onto the cab roof. Grinning, he called down to Charlie. Well, what are you waiting for? Hop in. Me? Said Charlie. Jobs don't get more important than this. I'm usually halfway around Europe by now. Someone's got to steer the truck or we'll never be finished by dawn. Can you imagine being able to travel with him all around the world? Where would you want to go to? Santa draped a huge plaid blanket around Charlie's shoulders. It sparkles up there, but it sure gets chilly. Now let's get started. Charlie scrambled aboard and turned the key in the ignition. Dumpy's engine coughed and sprang to life. The reindeer strained in their harness, and Santa gave the command. On Dasher, on Donner, on Comet, on Blitzen, on Dumpy, Charlie yelled, and they soared into the night. What a ride it was. Heading east, they flew to London and chimney-hopped their way across the city. They had a bird's-eye view of Big Ben just as the famous old clock was chiming midnight. Bong, bong. Toot, toot, Dumpy called back. Despite his heavy load, Dumpy was so exhilarated to be airborne that by the time they reached Paris, he insisted on flying around the Eiffel Tower twice just to enjoy the view. They zoomed over the Swiss Alps, sparkling in the moonlight, dropping packages to every cozy chalet nestled in the snow. But on the descent to Italy, poor Rudolph started sneezing again, and they narrowly missed bumping into the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Easy, fella, called Santa. It's tilted enough as it is. On they sped to Greece. Charlie recognized the wondrous Acropolis from the picture he's seen in his geography books. Santa banked down for a closer look, and the ancient columns wobbled as Dumpy thundered between them and out the other side. I really shouldn't do that, Santa grinned, but I could never resist. They headed south for Africa and soared over the deserts, jungles, and pyramids. And then, whoosh! Up they went to the frosted domes of Moscow. The world is beautiful, said Charlie. All the more reason to take care of it, said Santa. He looked at his watch. We're cutting it close. We should be in New Zealand by now. Does everybody celebrate Christmas? Charlie asked. That's such a great, important question. Not everybody, the old man replied. Some people celebrate Hanukkah, some Kwanzaa. Some celebrate different things at different times of the year. But everyone carries a message of love in their heart, no matter what their language or when they celebrate. I think that's a really important lesson to teach. Soon they were flying over India's Taj Mahal. Look at that. Beautiful. Dumpy's load of gifts had lightened considerably, but he was beginning to feel a little blurry from the urgent speed of their mission. Rudolph's condition was worsening as he sneezed his way across China and Japan. Hang in there, old fella, called Santa. Vacation next week. You'll get your glow back. But as the moon faded, Santa found it even harder to navigate. Australia's around here somewhere. If only we had more light. What do you think they're going to do? Headlights, Charlie cried and flipped a switch on the dashboard. Dumpy careened across the outback like a blazing comet, narrowly missing several startled kangaroos and sleepy koala bears. Moments later, they glimpsed the faintest lavender blush on the horizon. There's the dawn, Santa pointed. We're never going to make it, Chuck. And indeed, as they delivered packages across Hawaii, the islands were already glowing like amethysts on a jeweled necklace. They're really cutting it close. Oh, please, Dumpy, Charlie cried. Think of all the children. Isn't there something more you can do? Dumpy was so frazzled that his engine was knocking, but he took a deep breath, hunched down, and with a shudder that rattled his frame, he blasted into overdrive. Vroom, vroom, he roared, and he rocketed up the East Coast. Hooray, cried Charlie. Bravo, yelled Santa, a gold star for Dumpy. And he plucked the last one out of the sky just as Apple Harbor's lighthouse came into view. Over the schoolhouse they flew, past the post office, past Pharaoh's general store, delivering their last gifts to the sleepy little village. Soft snowflakes were falling as they touched down at Merryhill Farm. They unbuckled the reindeer from Dumpy's fender and tucked the world-weary little truck safely into the barn. Good job, Dumpy, Charlie whispered lovingly. This fine fella saved Christmas, said Santa, and he pinned the gold star on Dumpy's radiator cap. Dumpy sighed happily. As for you, Charlie, Santa said, I hereby declare you an honorary elf. Charlie hugged him. That was the best geography lesson I ever had. He ran to his bedroom and climbed into bed just as Santa's newly repaired sleigh soared past his window with a whoosh and a jingle. Merry Christmas, pal, Santa cried, his voice receding into the distance. And now it's Christmas morning, my friends. Merry Christmas, pal, Merry Christmas. Charlie felt a gentle hand on his shoulder. Pop-Up's face loomed above him. Wait till you see. It's a white world this morning. I had the most amazing dream, Charlie marveled. Tell me all about it, said Pop-Up. But let's hurry. I'm itching to get to those presents. And what a lot there were, spilling from under the tree in all colors, shapes, and sizes. Mrs. Barnes got a fat new canary, and Farmer Barnes squeezed a happy tune from his new concertina. Pop-Up did a little jig as he unwrapped a jolly red hat and a scarf to match. The biggest box was for Charlie, and he gasped with delight at the shiny, bright globe inside. Here's a present for Dumpy. Pop-Up pulled up one last package from the tree. Charlie tugged at the ribbon and tissue paper and was amazed to discover a fluffy plaid blanket, exactly like the one from Santa's sleigh. Let's take it to Dumpy right now, he cried. The entire family waded through the fresh snow, and as they opened the doors to the barn, Charlie hugged the blanket and said, Won't Dumpy be surprised? But the surprise was all Charlie's. As the Christmas sun flooded in, he saw something on his beloved dump truck that took his breath away. Maybe it wasn't a dream after all. Sparkling and winking on Dumpy's radiator cap was a glorious gold star. How did that get there? Mrs. Barnes asked. Pop-Up scratched his beard. Beats me, he replied. Perhaps Charlie hadn't been dreaming after all. I hope that you enjoyed that story of Dumpy Saves Christmas, written by Julie Andrews Edwards and Emma Walton Hamilton, and illustrated by Tony Walton. If you like this, you can see in the description below where you can find it on bookshop.org or Amazon. And if you like this as well, you can follow me and like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time, friends.